So, welcome back to the podcast, She Who Believes. I am your host, Vivian Bell, and I am in the She Who Believes. Like, this new year is like super crazy. It has been so awesome and amazing. Now, I'm not saying that because it has been like perfect or it's been like everything's been perfect or there's not been any hiccups or whatever you want to call them. But when I tell you that my soul knows something that my eyes are getting ready to see, like real quick, um, I'm just excited. I'm excited for you guys. I want to thank you again for joining us for the fifth season of See Who Believes the podcast. Thank you for supporting the apparel line by His Direction Apparel. Thank you for all who have enrolled in Destiny's Warriors. The community, it launches this weekend on the 11th. So if you have not logged in yet and signed up to join us, go to the website, vivianbell.com, and click on the link community at the top. It'll take you right to the page. Now, you've missed the early bird enrollment for $23 a month, but your personal investment of $30 is going to get you, it's going to get you in a community of faith-filled women who are studying the Bible together, encouraging each other, empowering each other. There's going to be live Q&As. There's going to be mentorship, and we're working on business partnerships and so much more. So join us, log in, get in on the ground floor with us because God has already been speaking to us. He's given us Bible studies and different things to share with you guys. So I'm really, really excited about this weekend's launch because there's going to be digital downloads. There's going to be some free ebooks for you guys. So log in, jump on, and get signed up because you don't want to miss this move of God that He's doing in the life of His daughters. So anyways, that's my shameless plug for all of those things. Also, I want to thank you guys for continuing to log on to Amazon and my website and ordering my new devotional journal. It's a 60-day journal. It is full of journal prompts as well as 60 days of the, not a 60-day journal, 60 days of devotionals. And so there's 60 days of devotionals. You can journal for however many days as you want in the remaining spaces within the journal. But there's the devotionals, there's the prompts, and by request, because I've had several people, not just because I've had several people do it, but really the people asking me prompts my obedience to God to create a 365-day journal. So that is not yet ready, but it will be the She Who Believes 365-day journal full of prayers to help increase your faith and to see miraculous things happen in your life. So keep your eyes out for that. In the next couple of months, there's going to be like a pre-order, like you can pre-order ahead and get that at a discount. So that's going to be pretty awesome. Also, too, we launched the Just Be It line on the By His Direction Apparel website. You can also go on to vivianbell.com and order your Just Be It shirt. So the purpose behind the Just Be It is to remind you to just be you, to go ahead and step out and be you. Because when you are being you, there's no room for competition. So just be you. There's no one else who can be you. And if you spend your time, waste away your valuable time trying to be someone else, my question to you is, who is being you? Who's going to be you if you're not being you? There are people attached to you. There are people waiting for you to step into your purpose, right? And so go ahead and do that. Well, today we are in our staple chapter in the Bible, Luke 1 and verse 45. Now, you all should know by now, if you don't, that is our verse. We ask that you declare that verse over your life continuously, and that in the place where the word she is, that you will insert your very own name, right? Because here we make the word of God personal for us. But after last week's podcast, the Lord was speaking to me about just Mary. I started thinking about Mary, and I was honestly just rejoicing. But then I started to consider how, like, this wasn't easy for Mary, right? So we read about how Mary believed God, and she said, "Be it unto me as you know, as you have said. Like, go ahead and let this thing happen. Like, I'm down for the cause. Like, I'm rolling with you, Lord. Like, I'm on birth the Messiah." But she was a teenage girl. She was young, and throughout this last week, I thought about how it might. There was like people. You know how people can be. Let's just be real. We know how people can be when they don't even know your business for real, right? They will talk about you. They will put you down. So here she is, right? with this man that she has not actually married yet. She's just betrothed to him. And she is found with child. He's about to leave her, right? He like, I'm out. I'm gonna push away quietly. I'm gonna step away. Because back then when you got engaged, it was basically it was the same as being married. So he had to get a writ of divorce to put her away, right? But the Holy Spirit, an angel came and told him, like, hey, this for real, Jesus, like, this is for real, the Lord. Like, the Holy Ghost came upon her, like, she ain't be with a man, she cool, stay with her, cover her, all of those things. But you got to think about, like, how Mary, what she went through, right? So, like, she had to go through trying to tell her dude, like, hey, I'm pregnant, but, I still ain't been with nobody. I'm still your girl. I still love you. And then to have him not believe her, like, that had to be devastating. So I know what it's like to obey the voice of God, but have people not believe that you're doing the right thing. Like, honestly, even in me stepping out in my business, I've had people make comments to me and say different things, or maybe you ought to do it like this, and maybe you should have did this first. But they didn't hear the voice of God, just like nobody was there but Mary and that angel when he came and said, yo, girl, what's up? Like, Jesus, like, you gonna birth the Lord Jesus Christ. Like, he didn't say his name, he called him Emmanuel, same difference. Emmanuel, God with us, Jesus, they all the same God, right? So he came and said, listen, the Holy Ghost is going to come upon you, you're going to give birth, and you're going to bear the Son of God. No one was there with her, right? No one was there. So now she's got to explain to her husband, future husband, and then she goes to visit her cousin. But I love that her cousin didn't question her. When her baby leaped because of the Messiah being in Mary's belly, Elizabeth just like, yo, I recognize who you are. Like, she built her up. And so that like blessed me, like, right? It made me think about, like, okay, the Destiny's Warriors and what God is planning to do through this community. And I know that there are so many different communities out there, and every community has its purpose. It has people that it's called to. But I know that there are people that are called to this community that that will be uplifted, that will be set free in their spirit, that will find redemption through Jesus Christ's grace. They're going to just find love, because let's be real, again, Mary, in that situation she was in, might have found it difficult to even speak to other women, talk to other women, share this with them. It is important that we have the support of other women, but let's be real, that's hard to find in the earth without people judging you, or like you being real. Like, I know there will be people who might email me and say, hey, you weren't, I didn't use the right verbiage, or maybe I didn't say or do the right things as I was talking about Jesus and Mary's birth. Maybe I urbanized it a little too much, but I'm going to tell them that they don't have to listen to the podcast no more, because there are people who are called to the podcast who will understand it. Again, as I told you guys at the beginning, you may get 3 different types of languages from me. You may get the language that proves I actually really did earn the 8 letters behind my name and the master's degree, or you might get a little bit of hood, and you might get some tongues here and there, because I'm all of that makes up who I am as Vivian, right? So the Destiny's Warriors, just like Elizabeth created a safe place for Mary, that's going to be a safe place for those who's looking for a safe place to be celebrated, to be encouraged, to learn, to be stretched, to pray, to learn more about the Bible. So jump on it and do that. And I know I keep jumping back into that, but hey, I literally, it's not in my notes, but here we are. So anyway, the thing that stuck out to me was God said to me, her song. Like, she literally, not only did she go through this, not only did she go have to deal with the emotional part of, like, hey, my love, the God that I love does not believe in me, and to have this angel visit her. And initially she was nervous when the angel told her, like, yo, be at peace. She went and visited her cousin, and then she wrote this song. And it's crazy because I've read this scripture, but like, it really stuck out to me that she literally wrote a song about God. Like, there's joy in her heart, there's purpose. Like, I'm a writer, I'm a spoken word artist, and I've written some songs. You guys have not heard them yet, but you will soon. I won't be singing them, but I wrote them. I don't know, I may be singing them, whatever God chooses to do. But anyway, the fact that she wrote this song and the words to this song, like, there was joy in her heart. Like, she was literally glorifying God in the midst of her of being someone that people misunderstood, in the midst of something that was scary, and sometimes might have even felt sorrowful, even though she's like, Lord, let it be unto me as you have said. There are times, I mean, she's human. Here she is, this young girl, her body's changing. She's going through all of the things that those of us who have had children went through. I remember being pregnant with my first child and like feeling certain pains in my stomach, not thinking or expecting those things, even though like maybe logically it made sense that you would have some pain and some cramping as the different organs and things inside your body moved around and the baby was stretched and all these different things, but nobody told me about those things, right? So my body at the age of, I got married at 20. I had my daughter right before I turned 23. I was 22. I had her brother when I was 25. And like literally I turned 23 a couple weeks after I had her. So I'm this young mother. Really, I was young. And so I didn't understand like the different things that would be taking place. And so to not have anyone have told you that she's going through all of these changes in her body, and like back then they didn't have the medical things that we have, right? They didn't have any of those things. So like she's going through some stuff that's like way different. Like there was no epidural. I didn't have any of those kind of things when I gave birth, but like I still imagine that it was worse for them then than it was for us. I just do. I just imagine those things were harder for them then. But here's this young girl going through all of this, and she wrote this song. So Luke 1 verse 46 through 55 reads as follows. And I am reading today from the New International Version. And so it reads as follows. And Mary said, my soul glorifies the Lord, and my spirit rejoices in God, my Savior. For he has been mindful of the humble state of his servant. Now, she said he was mindful of her. Like he thought about me, he cares about me. And some of us might have been like, dude, like, I'm pregnant, I didn't ask for this. I didn't even get the enjoyment of the sex that led up to it. But she said he was mindful of his humble servant. So now on all generations will call me blessed. For the mighty one has done great things for me. Holy is his name. His mercy extends to those who fear him from generation to generation. He has performed mighty deeds with his arm. He has scattered those who are proud in their inmost thoughts. He has brought down rulers from their thrones, but has lifted up the humble. He has filled the hungry with good things, but has sent the rich away empty. He has helped his servant Israel, remembering to be merciful to Abraham and his descendants forever, just as he promised our ancestors. So the thing that sticks out to me is this. So she knew some things about God, like she had seen him do some things in her life. You can tell this by the verses of the song, and then she had heard about God. So I want to encourage you this week. So I went through all of this to encourage you to keep believing God, because he has already kept some promises for you. You have seen him perform miracles. You have seen him do things, even if it wasn't something close up for you, right? So for me, I got some close up miracles. My son, my daughter at birth, my dad going through open heart surgery and having heart failure and those kind of things throughout the years. And this started when my dad was in his 30s and I was a young girl, like, and going to God and praying and saying, hey, save my dad. Remember my father, bless him, heal him. And God provided all of these things for him, right? I am the receiver of a healing miracle from God. I was like the woman with the issue of blood. It wasn't 12 years, it was months on end, more than 6 months actually. And so I was healed by God. And so like I have history with God, but I bet that if you look over your life, you've got some history with him too. So I want to encourage you to write a song. Yes, you write a song. Write a song. If you ask God to give you a song, even if it's a song that's one that's already written. So these are two things. Ask God to give you a song, and then ask God to give you a song, like a song that you can worship to him with that's been written. But then also ask him to give you a song. To give you a song. I bet if you start thinking about it, you'll just start singing songs, singing verses. You'll have the same joy in your heart, even in the midst of trial, even in the midst of when it looks like things are not going to ever get right. You will have the joy of the Lord, and it will be your strength, and you too will be able to write a song just as Mary did. Well, I pray that her song blesses you. I pray that this podcast blesses you. I pray that this story blesses you. And I pray that in this month of love, that you will find that the love of God really is the most amazing thing in this world, and that you will allow him to use you as a conduit through which he sends his love throughout this earth. Now, if you're thinking, how in the world do I go about doing that? Well, you can join our 28-day love challenge. We started it on the first, but we're just 8 days in, right? So join us. You can go to vivianbell.com. Excuse me. I'm sorry. You can actually go to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, and you'll find the links there. But you'll also find the videos on vivianbell.com. And you can register for this, register for the challenge, as well as receive the ebook for free. You can download the ebook for free. And as a matter of fact, as I'm talking about it, I'm going to actually add the ebook to my website for free and put that link on there for you. I don't know how I missed that. But hey, I'm a solopreneur over here making things happen with Jesus' strength. So join the 28-day love challenge and download the ebook. Give me until tomorrow on Thursday to get the ebook on the website. But if again you go to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, all of these you can go to at vivianbell.com. That's my name on all of the platforms, and you will find the 28-day love challenge, the free ebook, and you can join us. As you walk through the different days of the challenges, be sure to share with us your experience, hashtag 28-day love challenge, and hashtag be the change. Well, until next time, you have listened to, or if you're on YouTube, you're watching the podcast, He Who Believes. I am your host, Vivian Bell, and I am in the He Who Believes. God bless.